Hey, and welcome to my patch tour. It is July, a really exciting time of year, and I'm just going to show you what I've got growing and the abundance, the variety. Yeah, we'll get into it. So I have got a massive comfrey growing on the corner of my patch. This is what I make a lot of liquid fertilizer from. So as you can see, it grows and it goes balmy, so you probably only need one. You can cut it all the way back down to the stem and it will regrow. They've got really powerful roots. But yeah, comfrey is superb for making liquid feed out of. Watch out because it does spread. I've noticed that it's starting to spread into my brassica cage. But yeah, so next up we've got on the end here, I harvested some garlic, and I knew that by the time my garlic was going to be ready, I could put in some radishes. So I'll have a quick crop of radish here, and then I'll probably put something else in when we're in about August time. This is quite a nice pink variety of radish that Baker Creek Seeds Mitch Grows sent to me. Looking forward to trying it and maybe making some kimchi with it. And then over here we just got like a corner of flowers, loads of different types of flowers. Got calendula, sunflower, and sort of hiding away in here we've got a little lupin that's going to grow big hopefully. Then I've got like a mini fruit bush area where I'm trying honeyberries planted next to each other, and also blueberries. I've netted the blueberries this year because the birds just took them all last year and it was really annoying. But apparently birds don't know what honeyberries are yet, so if you want something that's just as nutritious, that involves you not having to net it, then go for the honeyberries. I only put them in this year, so I've not had a harvest from them yet. This is my brassica net. I've had this for over 3 seasons now, so it's really like sort of standing the test of time. On our members area, I do suggest getting posts which are a little bit longer than the ones that I've got. I noticed that my Brussels sprouts and my purple sprout and broccoli last year were poking at the top, so if the leaves are touching the sides, the cabbage whites can come and land on the netting, and they will lay their eggs on your leaves, and then they will end up in your brassica cage, and you really don't want that to happen. Okay, so I do need to do a bit of a weed on my patch. I like to do a weed every 1 to 2 weeks. So then let's come over here, and these are my lovely multi-sown onions. Because we've had such wet weather recently, you can actually see that they're starting to get some mildew on them, which isn't great. I asked Charles Dowding about this, and he said what you can do to sort of stop the mildew from spreading down to the stem, because it's all right if it's on the leaves, but as soon as it starts getting on the stems, it could get down into the bulb, and then that will affect storage. So if you do have mildew because of the rain, the best thing that he suggested to do is to fold the tops over like that, and that should stop it spreading down into the stem. So a little top tip that I literally learned this morning, because I sent him a message. I said it's not affecting the taste, but I've never had it before. In the 4 years that I've grown, I've never had mildew on my onions, which is random. Yeah, so I will try not to weed as I go, because it's hard to not get caught up in it. Then we're moving over here, so we've got climbing beans. These went in on the 1st of June, so they're starting to get nice and big. And then over here, this is chard from last year. Every time it grows, I literally cut it back and I use these leaves. Some people say that chard leaves taste a bit weird once they've gone to seed. I don't think they do. This is one that I've not harvested yet, so you can literally just cut the whole lot and use it exactly like you would do with spinach. Okay, let's go to the middle of my patch. So I've got a power tower. That is a little rose quartz crystal wrapped in copper. Quite exciting, bit esoteric. Apparently it's meant to harness the natural energy from the atmosphere, draw it down into your patch, and I mean, my patch is full of abundance, so maybe it is doing a good job. As you'll see in the video, I've got tons of flowers just dotted about. It's always nice to do things for the pollinators, and this year I've managed to get a few different types of varieties of calendula popping in my patch. These orange ones are the ones that we gave you in your seed packs, but when I'm out and about and I spot a seed head like that on a calendula plant that I like, I just pop it off and take it home and dry it out. I've got my mini pond. I've got lots of snail activity in there. The water's looking super clear, So something right is happening. I'm just praying for the day that I get frogs moving in. Hopefully next year. It'd be really nice. I set that pond up really late in the season. So over here I have my asparagus. This is on its 3rd year now, so when the spears come up through the ground, they turn into these lovely gorgeous ferns, and these ferns can be quite nice to be used in floral bouquets as well. But yeah, this is 3rd year. Oh look, there's one to grab as well. So because I'm on my 3rd season, I can get the odd spear. I've had a few of these this year so far, so it's really nice. Fresh produce from the patch. I've got chives dotted about, some self-seeding. Here's the chives. Some self-seeded lettuce that I've been harvesting. But yeah, as the years go on, you get more and more abundance for your patch, and things start to settle in. There's seed everywhere, and you have a great time. So I've got some poppies that have randomly popped up in my fennel. These are absolutely gorgeous. You've got to be quick to catch them, and sometimes you get the bees sort of nestling around in these sort of areas, and it's so cute. And then yeah, my fennel, it is getting bigger, more bulby, and it's probably time to harvest some of it. I've had a couple of them. These are multi-sown technique, like Charles Dowding suggests, where grow them in groups of 4, pick out the biggest one first. That allows for space for the other ones, and they're all plants like sort of growing in their own company, so it's really nice to have them together. And I've never grown fennel before. This is my 1st year. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Then over here we've got just some nasturtiums that are sort of on the border. These are dwarf nasturtiums, which is why they're not really going super crazy and going everywhere. I've got radish here, and more nasturtium seeds that have popped up. Multi-sown radish. This is a perennial kale. As you can see, it is my sacrificial lamb. I let the cabbage whites have it, I let the pigeons have it, in the hope that they're going to fill themselves up on this big kale plant and not touch my other bits and bobs, but nothing really stops the pigeons, and we'll get onto that in a minute. In here I've got my multi-sown beetroot, so there's so much beetroot here, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let's see if I can find a good cluster. Varying sizes, and just like the fennel, you sort of want to twist it out and get a big one. Oh, here we go, here's some big ones here. See those? So yeah, you twist out the big one first, and then the other 2 have space to grow, and you can sort of treat your patch like a living larder. But yeah, I've got a lot of beetroot here. This will probably last well into the end of the season, but I'll re-sow, plant some more in August, and then they'll be ready in early autumn. So then let's move on to my peas. Bit of a failure this year. Each year is an interesting one for peas. If it's not pea moth, it's pigeons. If it's not pea moth or pigeons, it's mice. So don't try this. Every single year I've just used string, and the string actually means that the pigeons can't land on the string. It's not strong enough to take their weight. I have created a really perfect all-you-can-eat buffet for the pigeons to enjoy. So what was a really gorgeous heirloom variety of pea is now butchered. But as you can see, peas are pretty hardy. The growth is returning, and I will get some more pods out of this. I have been picking it to death just to try and get there before the pigeons do. But yeah, it's like end of June now, so end of June, start of July. The pea moth is here, so if you're eating pod peas like this, it'll probably have little maggots in. You can pick around them or eat them anyway. But my suggestion is, if you want peas and you want pea shoots, sow some sugar snaps. There wasn't a maggot in that one, by the way. And then I got an outdoor cucumber over there, which is just sort of growing up a bit of string. Nice. Let's try and hurry this up because I can't. The WhatsApp won't let me send a big video. This is a tomato variety called Awesome Emma. I've got the seeds from Charlie D. Specifically bred for outdoors, so I'm trying it on this new technique, which I'm just literally sticking a stick in the ground and seeing what happens. And we've got a lovely row of courgette plants. You probably don't need more than 2 courgette plants, so I've got 3 because I like to contribute towards the food bank. My biggest failure this year are carrots. I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carrots growing, and I sowed this whole area with carrots. Still not too late to re-sow carrots, so I am going to do that, and fingers crossed that I do get some. But I think these are the Oxella types. They're nice and small. Might as well pick them and have them for dinner. And because I've direct sown them and this compost has been building for the last 3 years, they're all coming out quite straight and nice, which is a benefit of no dig over time. Straight carrots opposed to wobbly carrots, even though I don't really have a problem with wobbly carrots. Look at that, it's absolutely gorgeous. So we'll pop those down and come back to those later. Over here I've just got some leeks growing next to my rhubarb. I need to cut my rhubarb back so it doesn't start interfering with the courgettes. And more chives. Then moving over here we've got squash, which are going to grow up this A-frame. I've sort of created the string structure. Let's just see how high we can get them going. I've got 3 squash plants there. This is a really nice radish that I've been enjoying in salads recently. It's called a rat tail radish, and I'll try and get an example of a rat tail. Well, I might have eaten them all. I'm sure there is one. There we go. So the French go absolutely balmy for these. You can have them in stir fries or salads. And yeah, it's called rat tail because they eat them for the pods. These variety don't actually make the radish which we usually eat in the UK, which is the bulb. Oh gosh, my compost bin is looking pretty grassy. Don't put grass in your compost bin. Then over here I've had planted chives all the way around my compost bin. It's meant to deter rodents. I've had a few rats going in and out there, but they're just doing me a favour and aerating the soil. I've got some strawberry plants. And then over here we got mini herb patch. So we've got sage, thyme, I love thyme, rosemary, more chives. Chives are really expensive in the supermarket, and you can grow so many just by having a couple of plants, and you can cut them up and divide them, replant them each year, they'll get bigger and bigger. Got more climbing beans, more sunflowers, Jerusalem artichokes growing at the end. These are creating a bit of a windbreak for my patch. They do grow quite tall, so just be conscious of creating shade on your neighbour. I put posts in because I am going to have to string them. Last year they all fell over before they went to flower, and I was really gutted about that. So let's snake through here. We've got tomatillo plant, very excited to grow this. The seeds take quite a while to germinate, but might be able to just see the beginning of a little tomatillo there. These grow to as big as tomatoes, and as you can see from the bush, there are so many flowers on them, so it's going to be really prolific this year. And moving over here, I've got a gorgeous lettuce. These are 2 lettuce plants in one hole, and they sort of grow and they push each other apart. And what I've been doing is doing a technique called cut and come again, where you basically take the outer leaves on a continual basis. It stops it from growing, it sort of halts it from going to seed. Like usually if you see people have big heads of lettuce on their patch for ages, it will go to seed and they start getting really tall. But you can sort of increase the longevity if you do the pick and come again technique, and that will just mean that you probably only need to sow lettuce like 2 or 3 times a year, opposed to if I cut that whole head off, I've then got to re-sow, got to look after those seedlings, put them back in the ground. This is my favorite technique, and one that Charles encourages fully. And I'll just try that on the compost bin for now. So over here we've got spring onions. Interestingly, again, they are suffering from this mildew thing. So I think what I've been doing, I've been trying a cut and come again technique on the spring onions, where I cut just above here. And as you can see, this is about 2 weeks of green growth here. So it's a really great way of just having sort of endless spring onions, and it means you don't have to sow again, and you can just harvest the greens. But yeah, if they're getting a bit mildewy, I probably would recommend harvesting them and trying to wash off all the mildew. So yeah, got borage. If you've never grown borage before, give it a go. The flowers are beautiful and they taste like cucumber. I've got mini strawberry patch. I've only put this in this year. Some of them were really unhappy, like that. I've still got green growth on it though, so we'll stick it back in the ground and see what happens. Okay, finally, I got tons of potatoes. I've slowly been harvesting these, and I'll just make my way through this whole patch over the next few weeks. Potatoes store for ages if you keep them in bags, and yeah, you can even try and keep them till next year to replant out. But yeah, we supply seed potatoes every year to you guys, so you shouldn't have to worry about it. But yeah, these are great. And then the last thing is another exciting South American root veg. It's called oca. It's got these really beautiful leaves that look like a bum. And yeah, they'll be in the ground till October, and then the frost sort of kills off the greenery, and then you harvest the tubers that are in here. I don't know if we'll be able to find some, probably not. But yeah, that's my patch tour. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you've been inspired, and just know that year after year you can build up the diversity of plants that exist in your little patch, and it can start to support you much better. So this year I've cancelled my veg box already, pretty much eating off the patch, other than little bits and bobs like onions, but my onions will be ready soon. But yeah, it's just a really nice feeling to see the abundance, look at it, enjoy it. I can see butterflies, I can see bees, I can see food, all things that I really love in my life. So hope you enjoy your patch too. Oh my God, it's 18 minutes.